Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today I pay a visit to Greg Wormley at the Pump House in Struthers, and I prepare my super easy beer mac and cheese. But first, Penguin City Beer is now in their new digs at the B&O station. Well, today is a really big day for Penguin City Beer. No, it's not really your grand opening.
No.
Because you have been open, but in your new digs, this is the grand opening down here at the B&O.
Yes.
And Aspasia Lyris is one of the owners. And how long has this been going on, this whole Penguin City Beer adventure?
I would say we came up with the idea in 2017, in summer of 2017, and that's when we started the company, talking about it, getting it ready. It took about a year of us getting ready, building the marketing plan, coming up with the recipe. So it was, it was a lot of work.
Why Penguin City Beer? Why beer? What are you a beer fan? Are you a beer snob?
I'm not a beer snob. No, I'm not a beer snob. It's kind of silly. I don't drink beer. I'm not really a beer drinker, but I've been in the downtown entertainment scene for quite some time. I used to promote bands and events at Cedars downtown. I do the Youngstown Summer Movie Series. So I'm a big promoter of anything downtown. Mm-hmm. And my husband is a beer enthusiast.
A beer enthusiast, that's a nice way to put it, yeah.
So when we came up with this idea, we said if we do this and we create this beer company, I would love to be able to keep supporting and promoting the town of Youngstown and downtown. So that's how the name and everything just kind of came together to let's make this company be for the city of Youngstown.
And what made you start? Now I love this, the Lost River. This is going to be the next offering. Now this is a hard seltzer, and it's peaches from White House Fruit Farm.
Yes.
And ginger. Why did you feel the need to get another product?
Well, because everybody was guessing. They were thinking that it was going to be another beer, a beer style. So the whole year we were trying to come up with what's going to be our next one.
How did you keep that under wraps? So it was just like the three of you knew about this?
It was hard.
That's kind of cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I love hearing people guessing and wondering and asking. So it was fun to play with that. And then $1 of every case goes to Friends of the Mahoning River. So I do the tie-in with, that whole theme.
Well, one of the other owners here at Penguin City Beer is Richard Bernanke. This is Aspasia's, she's the better half.
True.
And
Definitely.
You are the beer enthusiast.
Yes.
So when you were coming up with the idea, you actually developed the original recipe for Penguin City Beer.
Yes.
Did you become a home brewer to do that?
I did. I wasn't a brewer before that. I was a consumer of beer for many years.
And how many batches did you go through? Did you know that you wanted to do a Pilsner type beer?
Yeah, I wanted something, nice and light, but distinctive, a little more body than your regular American light lager.
But you're not the brewer now. You hired an actual brewmaster.
Yeah, Doug Beatty, who's doing brewing work right now.
And how did you find Doug?
He was recommended to us through, I think, Greg Wormley, who has the Pump House, the brew shop. Mm-hmm. Said, gotta get in touch with Doug. He's head brewer at Elevator right now, but he heard about you guys and he wants to help you out. Because Doug brewed here 20 some years ago when it was the B&O brewery.
Oh my gosh. So is he originally from the area?
Yes.
And now he's back. So Doug Beatty is the brew master, and you have made this whole vision come alive. Mm-hmm. When you tasted the initial recipe that Richard brought you, what did you think?
I liked it. It's not my normal thing. I'm not into lighter beers, but it's just a clean, easy drinking beer, you know, and I can see why people like it. Let's put it that way.
No, I mean, it's really sessionable. It's not super high in alcohol. What would you drink as now you, I would call a beer snob.
I am a beer snob.
As the brewmaster.
Yep.
So what is your ideal
So I'm
beer?
really into, obviously like all professional brewers, I'm into IPAs, obviously. but my favorite style, you know, if I go to a beer store and pick anything out, I'm looking for something French or Belgian. Those are my styles. Saisons, you know, that's what I really like.
Michael Ponticus is the other part of the puzzle here.
Yep.
With the brewing company, and you really are in charge of all the marketing and the branding.
Well, we all do it together, but when Aspasia and Richie came to me in 2017 to say, hey, we got this great idea, do you want to get on it? I'm like, yeah, because it's family.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one of the things when they first approached me with the whole concept, they're like, we need to talk to you. I'm like, all right, what is it, you know? And they said, we've got this name, we have the name. I'm like, what's the name? They said Penguin City Beer. I'm like, okay, two things, no rust in the logo, no steel mills, because that's where we were. We need to go forward.
So been there, done that.
Been there, done that. And that's the whole thing too. It's like, even when I tell my students, when you're building a brand, you have to build a story. And it all started with family. You know, when she said, this is what it is. And I remember as a little kid, you know, growing up in Camel with Aspasia and everything.
I just love
like,
that everybody is local. I mean, you know, truly local.
Yeah.
And, you know, original.
OG, you know, whatever.
And I love it. So these, like, tough times don't last, but tough cities do. I mean, that's so
been our
true.
mantra too, yeah. And then I developed a logo that we had on our Facebook page. It's called We're Northeast Ohio's Toughest Pair. So everything with Jameson and Penguin City. So it's been a great partnership with them, and you know, with YSU now, and you know, we're the official beer of the Youngstown Phantoms.
Yeah, that's
so it's been a lot of fun. It's like a, you know, one of those things. It's like, oh, you get all giddy, but at the end of the day, we're still family. So whatever happens here, and then when we get home, and that's just, you know, open a Penguin and laugh and move on to the next day.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. Well, we are here at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery, and I am with Rude the Dude. And let me tell you, there is no place I'd rather be than this patio. It is beautiful. Sunday Fun Day is every day.
Well, yeah, Casey, winter's almost over, so the patio season is coming. We have one of the biggest patios in Boardman. Every Saturday, live entertainment. Other special events that we do, we have a car cruise every Wednesday, taking up the whole lot. It's a great event, a lot of beautiful cars. Our farm to table menu, we still support local ingredients, local products, meat and cheese local. We also have our happy hour, Monday through Friday, half off all 41 craft beers on tap.
And a lot of local beers
and tons
there
of local
too.
beer, tons of local beers. But it's just a great time to come out and enjoy Magic Tree.
The living is easy at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Cheers.
Buddy knows. For new floors, shop the Floor Store of Ohio. Choose from flooring that's Buddy safe, Buddy approved, and made in Ohio. Plus, take up to 24 months to pay, interest-free. Better brands, even better prices. You've got a Buddy at the Floor Store of Ohio.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for over 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may face. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at elizabethbernardlaw.com.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service, independent insurance agency. We work with several insurance companies to offer you choices for your insurance needs. We'll find the right product at the right price. Personal, business, farm, life, trust Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important, we'll take care of the details. Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Is it time to update your color style? R&S Paint will assist you with your choice of over 3,400 Benjamin Moore colors. Vibrant, durable, and easy to apply. Be current, be stylish. Shop R&S Paint.
Well, this is a visit that is long overdue. We are with Greg Wormley at the Pump House in downtown Struthers. Greg, I can't believe that this has been here for 22 years.
We've been here for 22 years. It was previously on before that.
Well, yes, but
a little bit.
You know,
not much more.
Everybody is right now. In the last 10 to 15 years, the craft beer explosion, right? And but you have been making beer at home for what, 25 years?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So really, you are like the grandfather, the godfather.
I feel old now.
Yes. Well, we won't have to say how old we are. But really, of home brewing, which really is, the gateway drug to craft brews.
Very much so.
Almost everybody I talk to, that has opened up our local craft breweries, all began as a home brewer.
Absolutely.
So they've all darkened the doorway here, many of them?
Quite a few, and some of them still come in when they do batches at home still, or need a little specialty something here and there. They always come see us still.
And what is your affection for the home brewing? What started you,
When I lived in California, I got more into import beers at that time because I had a lot of friends that I worked with that were from many different countries. And we tried different things from them, different beers that they suggested. Got me off of the regular American domestic type beers, stuff with flavor, character to them. Then my neighbor next door, from where we were living in our apartments, was brewing one day, and I happened to see his door open. Said, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Brewing some beer. You want to help?" "Absolutely." So I went in, started brewing with them, and then it's been this ever since.
And it really doesn't take up much space. So what is it, a 5-gallon operation, basically? Is that it?
I got people that do 1 gallon up to 25 gallons at a time. I think it's the biggest batch that one of my customers makes. But it doesn't take much. I got people that make batches in their apartment, people that make batches in their garage, their basement, wherever. It doesn't take a lot of room.
What was your very first that you made? Do you remember the very first beer that you brewed?
I do. It was an Irish stout, and it was horrible because we didn't know anything about what we were doing. And luckily, I was smart enough that, obviously, there was a store in California that sold supplies, so it was more to it than just what we were doing. So I went to the library, picked up a book called The Complete Joy of Homebrewing by Charlie Papazian, which is one of the godfathers of homebrewing. Read it from cover to cover and learned that you can actually make better quality stuff by putting more work into it. The next batch we made, awesome.
And was it hard to find, the grains, the hops? In California, I'm sure those were pretty readily available.
There was, but it was pretty limited back then. There wasn't as much available to homebrewers, much more to commercial breweries. Over the last 10 years, that has completely changed. We have everything that's available to all the craft brew houses everywhere around. We can get exactly the same product.
So this is a typical 5-gallon batch.
That is a typical 5-gallon batch.
And what have we here?
That is an English mild, a dark English mild, which is about a 3.5% alcohol beer, which would be a session beer. If you were in England somewhere sitting in a pub and you wanted to sit there all day, that would be one of their pints.
I like the sessionable ones. I don't like the ones that make you crazy.
That thing, even being low alcohol, it's got a ton of flavor. I take that style of beer to numerous events and try to educate people that never had that type of beer before.
Because they think because it's dark, it's heavy, and it's high in alcohol. And what about this one?
That is the leftover, part of the leftover batch that Ira gave us yesterday from their Petrushka. Instead of throwing the leftovers out, he had an extra when he was doing his runoff. He was smart enough to call us and say, hey, would you want to do anything with this instead of dumping it down the drain?
I love that community.
So us being good friends, yes, we went and picked it up and fermenting it away.
And this is interesting. Now, you're going to bring this to the May 4th event, and this is the Pineapple IPA.
I made a version of that last year. It was just a pineapple pale ale. So I beefed it up this year and added a bunch more hops that are more tropical, citrus, pineapple-y type flavors to them, and there'll be pineapple juice in it as well.
From start to finish, okay, now you brewed this one. This is delicious. Now, look at this. This is made, it's chocolate, or a coffee stout rather, made with moon pie coffee, and it really does have a delicious flavor. Now, how long does something like this take to brew?
That batch took about probably 3 to 4 weeks, start to finish, and then I kegged instead of bottling. So if you're bottling, it would take a little bit longer because you gotta let it carbonate in the bottles, but we artificially carbonate with CO2, so that speeds that process up.
Do you always have a large quantity of your brews at your home?
I don't have that much at home anymore because I don't have a beer fridge in the basement anymore. It has since died. But I do take growlers home from here all the time.
So you mainly keep them here now?
Everything ferments here, and then I store all the kegs here. It's just easier.
All right.
Just fill a growler, take it home, or take it to a party. Good to go.
Are you a beer snob?
I'm by no means a beer snob. No, like I was telling you guys earlier, I still drink Black Label, Hams, Strohs. I'll drink anything.
So you're not one of them like, oh, I will not drink the swill. I only drink the finest.
I will try anytime somebody comes up with something new or some brewery in the area comes out with something, I always try it, but there are styles that I prefer more than others.
Yeah, what would that be? Are you more IPA? Are you more stout? What do you really like?
I do get in the mood for an IPA every once in a while, but I'm more of a UK type brown ale, stout, porter, English mild.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
I am blessed with a wonderful husband. He's stuck with me through thick and thin, and he's a fantastic father. So when he needed long-term care, not just any place would do, we did our research. Everyone said, trust the name you know, Briarfield. With all those locations, there's always one close. That made it easy for me and the kids to visit more often, Briarfield.
Trust the name you know, Briarfield. Proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Selling engagement rings never gets old. It's love.
It's a huge on-taping because they're going to wear that ring probably forever, but if they're not going to wear it forever, they're going to pass it down to somebody.
Our rings will hold a lifetime, and we want to make sure it does. We stand by every single thing that we sell. I believe I can find the perfect ring. I really try to get them exactly what she would want.
And to just be a little part of that is really, it warms your heart inside.
Get real, get Kamara.
Join me September 14th for the TLTD cocktail party to benefit the Rosemary Flanagan Ovarian Cancer Foundation at the Doubletree, downtown Youngstown. For tickets, go to rmfocf.org.
Buddy knows. For new floors, shop the Floor Store of Ohio. Choose from flooring that's Buddy safe, Buddy approved, and made in Ohio. Plus, take up to 24 months to pay, interest-free. Better brands, even better prices. You've got a Buddy at the Floor Store of Ohio.
Well, everybody loves macaroni and cheese. And usually it's quite an ordeal to make because you have to make the roux and then you have to melt it down and all the milk and all the, I mean, it's really quite a bit of work.
It was a whole day.
But it's worth it.
It is.
How about this recipe? I had you over for dinner the other night. Could you believe it? How good it was? And how easy it was. It is 5 or 6 ingredients. It is beer-based with cream cheese that adds your creaminess, and then a pound of sharp cheddar. And I've added, I of course always have to tweak things, and then I use a little cayenne and a little nutmeg for flavoring. Yeah. And it comes together as quickly as the noodles boil. And that's it. And you are going to love this. I got this from my friend, the beer drinker, Russell. And he's like, you aren't gonna believe how easy this is. And I just love it. And you know, I'll tell you, you start with beer as a base. I am using Harp because it's a lager, but also like a nice crisp IPA would work. I don't think a dark beer would work as well, but if you keep it on the light side, just use a beer that you would drink that is like a lager or an IPA, and this is the best recipe ever. So let's get started. I'll go over the ingredient list, and we are going to make my beer sauce, macaroni and cheese. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of a short cut pasta, 12-ounce bottle of lager or IPA beer, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1 pound of sharp cheddar cheese, freshly shredded, 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I've dropped the fusilli noodle because I think the little springs are nice. And over high heat, I am going to add my bottle of beer. There you go. And now I am also going to add the cream cheese. Now I am using full fat. I am not going with the low fat cream cheese. You'll find that if you do, it's almost got a grittiness to it. It just doesn't melt down. So splurge on the calories, splurge on the good stuff. I'm going with the Philadelphia name brand. And all I'm gonna do is rub this around and break it up a little bit in the hot beer. And you're just gonna keep mixing it until it is smooth and it looks like a cream sauce. Now see how it's all smoothed out and it is all melted down, and it really just looks like warm milk. But you can see that it's bubbling on the edges. Keep it on high, and then now is a good time to add your nutmeg because you want it to blend in thoroughly, and your cayenne. If you're not a fan of any warmth, even though you really can't taste it, you don't have to add the cayenne. So now it's bubbling good. Where we're gonna reduce the heat to medium, and now a little bit at a time, we'll start to add the shredded sharp cheddar. I recommend shredding it yourself. It's a higher quality cheese and it melts down much nicer. If you buy the pre-shreds, there's some chemicals in there to make sure they don't stick together and clump. So just make sure you shred the pound of cheese yourself. And just make sure it melts in before each addition, just because you want it to really be creamy and smooth. All right, so our cheese is bubbling nicely. It's come together. Look at how beautiful and smooth. Now I will just take my drained pasta, add it in, and you just stir this in. Put your heat down low, and you see it looks a little thin, but let it cook on low for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it will thicken up and come together. That is delicious.
It is.
Can you believe how easy that is?
Within a half hour, you have dinner.
Exactly, as long as it takes the noodles to cook. It is so easy, it comes together. Of course, if you'd like to broil it, I thought that crunchy pretzels on top would be a fun topping if you like a little crunch, since it is beer-based. Or you could use chopped bacon, you know, whatever you want.
That's right.
Seeds.
Seeds.
I like sunflower seeds. I like a little crunch. Potato chips, whatever you'd like. And of course, the perfect accompaniment might as well be a beer since it's in the recipe. Nice harp lager. Cuts right through.
Right through.
It's really good.
It's very, very, very good.
This is so easy and so delicious. Just go to my website. It's my beer sauce macaroni and cheese. You are going to love it. caseysecondsept.com. See? Jelaine sold. Cheers.
Cheers. I am sold.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.